I do have skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
G'day guys, Mark here. Now you may recall on part 26 of the $60 parking ticket saga, I showed you guys the response to, or from Auckland Transport, John Strawbridge, who's the head of parking compliance and services, and that was to just unequivocally show you what evidence I had to prove it. Now, I haven't rung Bay Corp to ring up and ask them about the infringement numbers. I think that's enough for me. If the people have been, if the tickets have been cancelled and the people have been refunded, all good. If they haven't, well then there's proof up there showing that Auckland Transport have just lied, if that's the case. So at the end of the day, I posted that because of this guy that had kept coming onto my various videos on my channel and posting somewhat derogative comments, you know, slagging me off, questioning the evidence that I've given him. But unfortunately, when you want to challenge something, you've got to bring something to the table, and just hot air or words in a response or a comment isn't sufficient. This is why I make videos and show everybody every step of the process that I do, especially when the last two wins in court that I've had. But yeah, our mate Jeff decided to, after I muted him and blocked him from the channel as best I can. I mean, granted, he's got no subscribers, so it's kind of hard to block the guy. And no subscribers to me is just like a hallmark evidence of a troll. So anyway, Jeffrey wrote me this on the 3rd of August 2019 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on Saturday. So it says, "Good afternoon, Mark K. Jeffrey here. I am writing this email in response to a video published by you on the 27th of July 2019 under the title $60 Parking Ticket Saga Part 26, Proof AT Refunded the Tickets, Attention Jeffrey McLean." Now, he's presuming there that I'm the one that published. Could have been someone else that published it. Who says I even run that channel? Could be someone else that runs that channel. So let's just be presumptive, shall we? A presumption can be made without any facts to prove it. An assumption, however, you're making an ass out of everyone, really. It continues. "I was very much disappointed by your video, Mark." I'll just check, hang on. No fucks were given. "Your portrayal of me was so inaccurate that it made me want to eat my own excrement." Now bear in mind here that Jeffrey's never actually asked me for my email address. He apparently guessed it, same as he guessed my mother's title. So kind of interesting, that one. But we'll move on. "You slagged me off to your viewers as if I was some idiotic clown." Okay, well, people that act ignorant of facts and say idiotic things are a clown, so that's quite an apt description, actually. Thank you, Jeffrey. "I am far from this. I was foolish enough to believe that you possessed a fair-minded perspective." No, I just know what's the difference between what's right and what's wrong, Jeffrey. I'm all for giving everyone the benefit of the doubt until they prove that they don't deserve it, such as yourself. "Your video was an abomination to me and my name." Wasn't meant to be. It's simply a video showing proof that you pretty much deserved to have shoved straight under your nose when you make idiotic clown statements such as, "It's impossible to have those tickets reversed or refunded." Where were we? regardless of what opinions you hold about the legal recognition of a person, no, I actually stated the legislative acts. It's, now you can look up the Interpretations Act 1999, section 29 and 30, where your legislators, the government, clearly define the correct legal interpretation. It's got nothing to do with recognising it. This is what the law states that word means. It's got nothing to do with what I think. This is what legislature defines and interprets a word person to be. And it's also, you'll find in the New Zealand Bill of Rights Act 1990 section 29, where it defines natural persons and legal persons. Alright, Jeffrey? So it's not my interpretation or what I recognise a person to be. That's how it's defined. Again, I'm offering facts, but we'll move on. I have a duty to protect my identity from unsolicited and unwarranted attacks. So you didn't write all of that crap in comments on my videos, Jeffrey, and expect me to not respond to them? Especially when, one, you bring my kids into it. If you want to have an issue with something I've posted or the subject matter, go right ahead. I draw the line at ad hominem attacks, and especially when you want to bring family members and stuff into it. But if you want to play at that level, hey, I can do the same thing just as easily. But as for unsolicited and unwarranted, your comments warranted and solicited a response, because silence is acquiescence, as I've said many times before. If I don't respond to some bullshit that you're saying about me, then I'm agreeing to it. Just as I'm sure you send me emails when you disagree with my opinion of a troll. Alright? Let's see. I wanted to vomit when you were slandering me off as an internet troll. Well, then stop acting like an internet troll. You know? It's pretty simple. I have been unable to sustain an erection since you published this ridiculous video. Well, too much Viagra can actually cause impotence. There are heaps of medical clinics you can go to if you are suffering from that problem. If there is a Mrs. McLean, you're welcome. Yeah, you'd best get that sorted if you've got a problem, but stop playing victimhood and acting like you're the victim here. If you're going to throw shit at people, don't expect when it hits the fan that you're not going to get covered in it when it comes back at you. Alright? And you really picked the wrong guy who uses simple facts and evidence to prove every point I ever make on YouTube as far as interpretations are concerned. I prove things with throwing my own self on the line. I wouldn't tell anyone to do something I'm not willing to try myself. So I prove what I can do myself first before I tell others. It's that simple. It's a shame you just lack knowledge. Poor people like that. My sympathies again. It is obvious that your words have hurt me emotionally. Really? Fuck. Again. There could be a crisis team perhaps needed for you. I mean, seek some counselling. I hope you get some help. If words seem to hurt you emotionally and you feel it's okay for you to sling hurtful words to other people without any redress, then you need to get some counselling. I have not eaten correctly for the past few days too. Can you hear that? What was... Oh, it's the world's smallest violin there, Jeffrey. It's playing just for you. Grow up. Grow up here, will you? But then again, yeah, you said you've been having some problems in that area. In response, now this is where Jeffrey seems to completely fail on knowing any maxims of law. Onus probandi being one of the main ones. He who makes the claim has the burden to prove it. Okay? Nobody who has the presumption of innocence has to prove their innocence. And if someone has to show their innocence of something, it would be good to know what they're allegedly accused of in the first place. In response to the refund evidence produced in your video, I must question the validity of the presented documents. Really? The validity of Auckland Transport's documents? I don't have them rolling around just offhand here, but John Strawbridge is the gentleman that wrote that document. I show you that on the video. All the information's there. The CAS reference number that you are welcome to call Auckland Council and ask them about that reference number, or if it pertains to refunds, you're welcome to email John Strawbridge. That's john.strawbridge@at.govt.nz, and you can email him directly and ask him. I mean, my gosh, we don't want you to go flying off the handle and start slandering people off by emailing them and telling them that you think they're frauds. But I'll read on. I must question the validity of the presented documents. Your official information request does not appear to be genuine. Well, I've just told you how to verify the validity of that document. And perhaps, again, if you do your own, it's not, clearly, anything I show you isn't good enough. So, why don't you get the information from what I've shown you, and then go ahead and do your own independent due diligence, Jeffrey. Why don't you get off your ass if, you know, nothing else seems to be working at the moment for you. I'm sure your legs might still, or your fingers, and pick up a phone. And again, you can call me anytime. I'm not going to feel in the slightest bit worried about it. But I must warn you, Jeffrey, I do record all phone calls. So, like this email, if you want to continue your harassment to me, because not only have you harassed me on multiple clips of my videos on YouTube, but now you're contacting me through digital means, I suggest you look up the Harmful Digital Communication Act, Jeffrey. Look it up. Call up NetSafe. Voldemort has tried that. Why don't you give them a call? Okay? And as I am the recipient of this intended email, I can do whatever the fuck I like with it. It's a one-party state, chap. There isn't any non-disclosure contract or privacy contract with me and you. It's just out of sheer ethical and morals that I don't dox your email address to everyone. I don't care if people email me. Like I've done with your email address, I can just block you. Anyone can use text editing software to fraudulently create a convincing fake letter. You've got some, some experience in that, have you? I am obliged to give you credit for the effort and time you have invested into your counterfeit papers. Again, now you're just flat out accusing me of creating fraudulent papers and being counterfeit. Get off your ass, Jeffrey. Ring up Auckland Council. Ask them about it. Alright? Ask them if they have Warden 1126, Stephen Lamasatelli. Why don't you email Vanessa Olivia? She was the prosecutor who I bet in court, proving, not by my opinion, but by legislation and case law, that they were misleading markings, and that as there are misleading markings, road users can then therefore be fooled into thinking that they can park there, and therefore, when there is misleading road markings, according to Auckland Transport's own training manual, no offence is created. So, no, you don't just get sent a ticket because you supposedly break a law. Okay? That's why it's an alleged thing. Because until you go through the court process and are found guilty, you're fucking innocent. Jeffrey, you need to learn these basic parts of law. Alright? If you want to go on about ethics and morals, learn that shit as well, eh? The infringement numbers cited match the official fine structure of 10 digits. So you know what a parking ticket fine structure looks like, do you? Did you get a parking ticket, Jeffrey? Did you just pay? But the ones in the video look made up. Well, you'd have to talk to AT about that. They're the ones that make those infringement numbers, not me. And they're called ICN numbers, okay? Infringement Charge Notice. It's a notice. It's an offer. You fucking muppet. You have misled your subscribers by doing this. They deserve an apology. I'll let my subscribers use their own common sense and their own minds to decide whether or not the evidence I have produced is correct or not. And if they wish to do their own due diligence, just like yourself, Jeffrey, or at least claim to, go ahead. Do your own fucking phone calls. Do your own investigations, because if what I'm not showing, if what I'm showing you guys is not sufficient or needs to be verified and checked, go right ahead. I have no issue with anything I present being claimed as fake, because it is all factually accurate. I have the original emails from John Strawbridge responding to my Official Information Act response. I don't bother showing that. But if you want to make an Official Information Act request, you simply have to type to whoever the agency is, under the Official Information Act 1982, please supply the following answers to these questions, and number them. Don't make them too long. Don't make them too many. Just take your time. For small steps, just do 2 or 3 questions at a time, so they don't feel overwhelmed, so they can't turn around and say, the volume of information you're asking for is too much. Alright? There's lots of ways to do it. Perhaps Jeffrey might learn to do that himself someday. Who knows? Sounds like he's got other pressing matters to deal with more so. So I'm not apologising to anyone. Though I agree with you on your views on the presumption of innocence, well, no you don't, Jeffrey, because you then write, I think you should be the one who proves your innocence in this case. In what case? I proved, in a court case, with a presiding judicial officer, Her Honour Judge Lisa Tremowan, at Waitakere District Court on the 1st of April this year, my innocence was upheld. I proved beyond a reasonable doubt that there was doubt, that there were misleading markings. If they weren't misleading, why did Auckland Transport re-blacken them? If there wasn't a problem with the markings, why did Auckland Transport re-blacken them out? Could it have been because someone went ahead and called them up and actually reported the fault, which is what their wardens are supposed to do, but didn't, because they're making too much money by creating fraudulent tickets that should never be issued? I'll let my subscribers and viewers be the judge of that. Again, don't believe anything I'm telling you. Go ahead, do your own fucking research if you don't believe me. You only receive an infringement notice when you're caught violating the law. Well, I guess my court case proved that you're wrong there too, Jeffrey, because I received an infringement notice because Auckland Transport unlawfully issued it. That's why they cancelled the others. And I could prove that the faults existed from September when I asked from the dates from September to January this year. I proved that because when I was out there doing public photography tests at Waitakere Court, I have video evidence of those faults existing then. So there's no question as to whether or not those faults existed for at least 4 months. I shudder to think how many other people were fraudulently issued tickets by Auckland Transport before then, when those faults were still there. Google Maps shows there being an existing car park there in the previous photos, if you look at the time dates and look at the history of Google Maps. So yeah, this is why you would have been ticketed. No, wrong. I don't believe you have been wronged. Again, wipe your arsehole. Your opinion stinks. I truly believe, well, you can believe what you like. You can believe in Santa Claus, fairies, you know, unicorns. You believe in whatever you like, because belief, like religion, doesn't really require any fucking proof, does it? It's just what's written in a book. And weak-minded individuals to believe in it, because they don't need evidence. They have faith. There is no fate but what we make for ourselves, people. I truly believe you have convinced yourself of your own innocence. No, again, Bill of Rights Act, Section 24, every person has the presumption of innocence until convicted. Not me making this shit. It's written in legislature again. So again, it's not a belief, it's a fact. Convinced yourself of your own innocence through denial of responsibility. Denial of responsibility, so that's why I appeared for that name in court those 2 times, is it? Because I wasn't being responsible? I didn't hold everybody's feet to the fire and make Auckland Transport go and above and beyond what most people would do when they win in a court and just say, great, I won. I actually went and made them fix the other fuck-ups they did for other people that I don't know, have no contact with. I just made them do what was correct. Because I know the difference between right and wrong, Jeffrey. Opinions are like arseholes. You need your hygiene levels up, sir. Well, I've got to say, you know, we've had no water for a month. The bore pump broke, but thankfully I've got that up and running now, so do I still look that old? In response to your accusation of doxing, yes, you posted my mother's name in a comment. You doxed her. I have not doxed a single soul. No, just a person. Frankly, I find doxing to be an abhorrent act. Well, then stop doing it, Jeffrey. The term doxing brings thoughts of bestiality to mind. Really? So, releasing someone's information on a public sphere, their private information on a public sphere, is likened to bestiality. I think you seriously need to get some help. I hope you find it. Unlike you, Mark, I have morals. Clearly not, if you've got thoughts of bestiality. I guessed your mother's name. Guessed it? Really? So you picked her initial out of the entire alphabet of 26. Mate, go and take a lotto ticket. If you've got that good at guessing, you know, to even call her Mrs. How do you know she's still married? And estimated your date of birth based on your appearance. Oh, okay. So, what, 10 years younger now, is it? What do you reckon? I'm not saying you're old. I should hope not, because you're only as old as you feel. I feel like a spring chicken. But you're definitely in that mid-60s, mid-70s range. Great, thanks for that classification. Age doesn't matter, neither does race. I agree. You agree now. So you don't think I'm a spoilt white boy? Is that what I'm not now? You don't think I've got rich parents I go running to? You agree with me now on that? Which is it, Jeffrey? You seem to be changing. Perhaps medication you may be on might need to be changed or at least revised. Just saying. But you definitely, where are we? Age doesn't matter as race. Those race-based comments were out of order and I withdraw them. Oh, so you admit that you made race-based comments then. So I was perfectly justified in calling you a racist prick or an arsehole or something to that effect when you started bringing the colour of my skin into it. Because kids weren't enough for you, my parents weren't enough for you, calling me a fraud and everything isn't enough for you? I mean, again, what an arsehole. And I don't generally feed trolls, but this guy clearly needs some special attention, which I hope he gets. Where are we? But you are acting like a spoilt child when you think the world is against... I don't think the world's against me at all, Jeffrey. I think that the rest of you are trapped in a society that you don't even believe that you're trapped in as. I believe that I'm a hell of a lot freer than most people. I live freehold, no debt. I don't pay rent each week to somebody. Alright? So it's a much better lifestyle when you don't have to pay to live on Earth. Sure, I have to pay for food and heat and all that sort of jazz, but I don't have to pay for the roof over my head. I did not defame your children. No, you didn't defame your children. You brought my children into an argument because your argument wasn't strong enough to stand on its own merits. So you thought you'd go for a low blow and bring in someone's children. How do you know my children weren't dead last week? Or didn't die of cancer last year? Or something like that? How do you know that we haven't gone through massive struggles with mental health services and stuff with our kids? And that it might be a sensitive subject. But it's okay for you not to eat for a few days or sleep very well or even get a hard on, and you want to blame me for that because you can't stand responsible for copping flack from your own comments and actually getting a response. You sound like a Democrat. In our first exchange, I said that you needed to be a role model for them. I am a hell of a lot better role model for my kids than most people are for theirs. Nothing wrong with that piece of advice. Did I ask for your advice? I thought you were offering your opinion. Didn't ask you for advice. You can take your advice and shove it right where your ass is. I was thinking about calling you the other day for a chat. Phone number, again, 027 531 4470. Feel free to call me. Again, all calls are recorded and may very well be posted. But I don't want to make you insecure about yourself, mate. I'm probably the least insecure person you'll ever fucking meet. I would have written a letter to you describing my disgust, but email will have to do for now. From a disappointed and nauseous viewer. Jeffrey McLean. Oh, I'm sorry, you know, they have Nausine for that. Go and smoke a joint or two. That generally helps people with nausea, you know. Perhaps stop spinning around so fast in your little fucking world that you clearly live in that's separate from the rest of us, and you know, you might actually get yourself grounded a bit. Go and do some due diligence. If you want to accuse me of counterfeit and making fraudulent documents, then by all means take the information I've already provided you in part 26 and verify it for your fucking self. I'm not going to produce you a damn thing, but any crap you send me, and now you're going to have to find another way of doing it, because I've blocked your email, any other crap you send me, any phone call you give me, going up. So think carefully before you want to email complete strangers about your erectile dysfunction in the future, or how much you want to cry for yourself from those small little violins playing in the background when you're talking. Poor boy. So to everyone else there, make your own judgment. I've showed you the email, I've read it to you. I hope you got as much humour as I did out of it. If he's disgusted, fine. I guess that makes two of us now, because I'm disgusted by some troll internet arsehole that thinks he can accuse me of counterfeit and fraud and lying, and that I offer people apologies or that I owe people apologies without providing a shred of proof to back his statement. I've shown mine. You guys are welcome to do your own research and to verify all day fucking long. I've even given you the email addresses. Vanessa Oliver, or Olivia, is VANESSA.OLIVIER @at.govt.nz. She's the parking prosecutor. If you need to verify that she lost, by all means, give her an email. See you later, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am. Bye.